Hi Gemini, welcome to your love reading for November 2019. I am doing a reading with a slightly different angle. Usually with the other angle that I use, I have to move my camera around, which is causing a lot of problems with it disconnecting and me losing videos. So just to be safe, I am doing it like this for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut the deck. I'm going to use this method for this reading. This is a love reading for the sign of Gemini for November 2019. Let's see what you have, Gemini. You have the Six of Swords, the Ace of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Page of Swords, Three of Pentacles, the Hangman, Seven of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, what's the most important thing that Gemini needs to hear about their love life for November 2019? The main energy that you have, Gemini, is Temperance. So Temperance can represent the sign of Sagittarius, but Temperance also does represent forgiveness, healing, compassion. This card represents kind of taking things slow, not kind of pushing extremes. Let's go ahead and come back to this card and see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. If you would like a private reading with me, just scroll down and you'll see a link to my website, channeledguidance.com. Okay, so let's see what you have going on here. I've noticed that you have the Six and the Seven of Swords lined up here, which is interesting. You also have quite a few swords, and I'm not done yet. You've got the Six of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. So I definitely feel like the sign of Gemini, like you have a lot on your mind here. I feel like you're doing a lot of thinking about relationships. You're doing a lot of thinking about love in the month of November. Let's start at the top. You have the Six of Swords. So this is telling you that in the month of November, you have a chance to move away from a really difficult situation. It could be that you have a chance to move away from this. This is not where you want to be in a relationship. The Two of Pentacles means that perhaps there is someone that comes and goes. There is someone who is perhaps seeing someone else. The Two of Pentacles is sometimes, kind of a juggling act. Perhaps there is a third party, or maybe this is someone that, can't quite make up their mind about their feelings for you. This is a wishy-washy energy here. But, I do see a change. Again, the Six of Swords is you moving away from a really difficult situation, a really difficult time in your life, towards something much healthier. You also have the Ace of Swords here. So some of you might finally, kind of have some clarity about why someone won't commit to you. With this, Six of Swords energy, you're leaving behind a time where you feel kind of scattered in relationships. Or again, there's someone who is wishy-washy. With the Ace of Swords, there is clarity and there is truth. You might be hearing why someone won't commit to you, or why someone, is not coming back to you with the Two of Pentacles. Now, you also have the Seven of Swords, which to me, this is a red flag card. This can represent sometimes someone who is lying to you, someone who is two-faced. I mean, look at this. You've got the Seven of Swords right next to the Page of Swords. This is deceit, and this is truth. So for the sign of Gemini, I feel like you have to kind of be careful that you're hearing the truth and not what you want to hear, because sometimes the Seven of Swords can represent self-deceit. It can represent someone who is sticking their head in the sand and just seeing what they want to see. Just kind of looking at this row right here, I do feel like there's a chance here for somebody to really speak their truth. Because remember, you are supposed to be leaving a really difficult time behind you with the Six of Swords here. Leaving perhaps a difficult person behind you, if that's what you feel you have to do. Because I feel like the sign of Gemini, like there's been a lot of instability in your love life. I feel like if you're involved with someone, if you're in a relationship, it seems like you don't really know where you stand. Or again, it's someone who comes and goes. I feel like for some of you, I do feel like for some of you, there has been deceit of some kind. If there has, I feel like you will be hearing about this, as far as what really happened in the month of November with the Page of Swords. Someone is coming clean. Someone is telling you the truth. I feel like if you really want things to work out, look at this. You've got the Six and the Seven of Swords here. Again, Six and Seven of Swords. And over here, Two of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles. So this is kind of like a sequence of events. You've got the Three of Pentacles, which is working together, teamwork. Again, if there has been deceit, or with the Seven of Swords, sometimes this is someone who is their own worst enemy. This is someone who, makes bad decisions. The Three of Pentacles is saying that you can work together to save the relationship or to save the marriage. Again, there's, also this energy of choices with the Two of Pentacles. Perhaps you're lost. Perhaps you don't know if you should stay married to someone, or you don't know if you should stay with a certain person because there has been deceit or instability. You have a choice to make. But again, you have to really work together to make this happen. Now down here, you've got the Hangman. So the Hangman does kind of imply that, you're kind of stuck. You feel like you're not moving forward. I see that down here as well with the Ten of Swords. Here someone has been hurt. Someone has been deeply hurt and betrayed and is not moving on. And I really feel like it's the sign of Gemini. You've been unable to move on from something painful, which definitely explains the main energy. Temperance means that there's something to heal here. For some of you, it could be that you're really trying to move forward from a difficult time. Perhaps someone did lie here. Or perhaps, you care about this person so much that you want to look past that. You're trying to make things work, which would definitely explain the Three of Pentacles. Like you don't want to let go of this person, even if, there was some deceit. It doesn't have to be about a third party. It could be that this person was maybe lying about other things. Maybe they misrepresented themselves in some way. But I see here that someone does not want to move on. To me, that is the loudest message coming from this card. Like, I will not move on. And usually, again, there has been pain with this energy. Someone has been betrayed, which, ties in with the Seven of Swords. There has been deceit, and someone has not been able to move past this. So just kind of looking at this bottom row down here, there's this energy of choices again. So you have that here, and you also have it with the Two of Pentacles. Some of you might be kind of making a decision in the month of November as far as like, are you going to forgive someone for straying? Are you going to forgive someone for betraying you or for cheating on you? I feel like if you're going to be making that decision, the Seven of Pentacles is saying take your time. Again, that would definitely tie in with the main energy. I feel like the sign of Gemini, like you're making some type of decision, which just came up for the last sign that I uploaded. Well, the first one, Pisces. So if you have Pisces in your chart, or your ex or your partner, you might want to watch that. There's choices here, but you're being told, like, don't jump the gun. Like, take your time making this decision. The Seven of Pentacles is someone looking at things very carefully. And I feel like someone is, not moving on from something painful here. Perhaps you don't want to let your partner go. There's a sense of being stuck here, being in limbo. Let me get a few more. See what other messages we get. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for November? We've got the Queen of Swords, which represents your energy. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini? You've got the Six of Cups and the Ace of Wands. Okay, so this can definitely be speaking to those of you where you want to reconnect with an ex. You've got the Six of Cups, which does represent someone from the past. Memories of the past. You've got this with a new beginning. You've got the Ace of Wands. This is a clean slate, a new life, a new beginning, perhaps with this person. Although keep in mind the Six of Cups sometimes can also just represent a soulmate energy. So for some of you where there is no ex, maybe you're still partnered with somebody, this does represent soulmate energy, and you do have a chance here for a new beginning, a clean slate. And I feel like the sign of Gemini, like you definitely need this new beginning, because there's something strange going on here. I feel like this is your opportunity for the month of November. You have a chance to move away from a very unhealthy situation. I did try to record this reading for you one time before, and you had the Devil in that spread. You don't have it here, thank goodness, but with this message here, I feel like I should mention it, that you have a chance in the month of November to get away from a really unhealthy situation. Or again, maybe, there has been someone who has been very wishy-washy. Someone who's not been keeping their word, or a relationship that is off and on. There's a chance for clarity. There's a chance for truth here, or perhaps you're speaking your truth. I do feel like some of you, like you've been unable to move on. Maybe for those of you where it's an ex, you've not yet moved on because you've been so hurt. Some of you may be considering kind of giving someone a second chance. You're weighing your options to see if you can trust this person. I do see a new beginning over here. Again, this is someone from the past where there is a clean slate. There is a new beginning, with this person. Okay, let's get a few cards from the confirmation deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini for November 2019? You've got the Page of Cups, Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. So there's definitely a lot of emotion. The cups do represent emotions and a lot of feelings kind of going on here for the sign of Gemini. The Page of Cups could definitely be that there is communication from the heart. Someone, you know, could be definitely explaining themselves. You've got the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. The pages represent communication. And what I see here is someone is really kind of opening up and saying the truth, speaking their truth. But also someone is really speaking from the heart. For those who are single, I mean, there can definitely be someone kind of declaring their love here with the Page of Cups. But kind of seeing, you know, what you've got lined up here. The Page of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. I feel like the sign of Gemini has been highly confused about where they stand in a relationship or a marriage. You've got the Seven of Cups, which means this is someone who's kind of all over the place emotionally. And as it is, you already have the Two of Pentacles over here, which is scattered energy. Again, it's like it's a juggling act. Everything's kind of up in the air. And over here, you've got everything up in the air emotionally. So I feel like there is something very, very confusing for the sign of Gemini when it comes to a relationship. I feel like you don't know how someone feels, or you don't know how you feel about your partner anymore. Maybe something happened where you don't trust this person anymore, because there is kind of this strong energy here of deceit and truth. With the Seven of Cups, I feel like you need to be careful when making decisions, because I do see decisions here. And this is a message to really take your time when making decisions. Because here there is a lack of clarity. You're so emotional, you don't really kind of know what you're doing. This all ties in with the main energy. Everything is tying in for you. You have the Temperance card telling you take your time. Like there is no reason for the sign of Gemini to put themselves on the spot making a decision in the month of November. Don't let somebody force you into making a decision in the month of November. You're supposed to be taking your time here. So although I see you kind of highly confused here with the Seven of Cups, feeling very emotional, or very lost when it comes to your love life, you do have the Nine of Cups here, which is a card of wishes being granted. So perhaps your wish is to just get away from all of this, get away from the lies. Maybe you really want to hear the truth of how someone really feels. This is, you know, your hopes and wishes being granted, but this also just means that you're going to be in a very happy and fulfilling place, even though you have some challenging energies here. I feel like the sign of Gemini just needs to hear the truth. Like it's either that you need to hear the truth or you need to speak the truth. You've got truth here, the Ace of Swords, and you've got truth here with the Page of Swords. So in some way, like either you're not speaking your truth or someone is not telling you the truth, and it's time that you get this so that you can move forward. That is the very first message that you had. The month of November is giving you that opportunity to get away from a really kind of difficult situation. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the X spread. Okay, Gemini, let's go ahead and get into the X spread. I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck. This is the reading for the sign of Gemini and their X for November. Gemini and their X for November. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Gemini and their X for November. Five of Cups. Gemini and their X for November. The Lovers. Gemini and their X for November. Ten of Wands. Gemini and their X. The Tower. Gemini and their X. Temperance, which you did have this in the first spread as the main energy. Gemini and their X. The Queen of Pentacles. Gemini and their X. Five of Wands. Gemini and their X. Six of Wands. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop here and let's see what all of this means for you. You do have the Lovers card. Let's just start here. This also represents your energy as a Gemini, but the Lovers, I mean, this is a significant union. And again, this spread is for those of you where this person is no longer in your life. You're just kind of hoping to hear, you know, if you're going to hear from this person or if there's a chance you can get back together. This card is telling me there's still a significant connection there. Perhaps this person is still thinking of you. To me, this card also represents that this is a relationship you want very much. Again, that connection is still there. There is a lot of work to do here. You've got the Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of time and effort that has to be put in, because look at this. You've got a lot of sadness, tears, and disappointment here. And I did see that in the first spread. You know, you had the Hangman. There was a lot of difficult energy at the bottom of the spread with the Hangman and the Ten of Swords. Like, there's been a betrayal. You also had the Seven of Swords. The Five of Cups just means that there's a lot of pain and disappointment. That connection is still there. There's just a lot of work to do around this relationship. Now, again, you have Temperance. So this is significant because you had this in the first spread. Here it is. It was the main energy. So if your ex is a Sagittarius, and this is a huge message for you, but still, this was part of the main reading, and it was the main energy, actually. So Temperance does represent forgiveness. So some of you may have a chance to kind of get back together, you know, with your ex, especially with something like the Tower here. This is something that takes you completely by surprise. Everything changes very, very quickly. Some of you could be shocked that somebody is asking for forgiveness. This just came up for the sign of Pisces. Again, here, this is forgiveness, compassion. And this is what I told you in the first spread as well. If your ex is asking for forgiveness, like, don't force yourself, or don't make yourself kind of make a decision, you know, that the first day they contact you. This is saying take your time. I feel like the sign of Gemini, like, you will be surprised at some developments around your ex. There is a lot of baggage here. I mean, you've got the Ten of Wands. There is a whole lot of baggage here, and some of you may be really fed up with your ex. This is someone who is fed up and just really burnt out from everything that's happened. There's a lot of pain here. There's a lot of disappointment, but still, you know, there's still that spark as well. There's still that connection that could still kind of happen for you in the month of November. You've got the Queen of Pentacles, which would be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. This can be your ex, but can also be you if you have a moon or rising and an earth sign. I mean, look at this. You've got the 5 and the 6 of Wands here. So, I mean, the 5 of Wands does represent that there's just a lot of conflict between you and your ex. It could be, I mean, usually with the 5 of Wands, let's just start here. Either you guys argued a lot, there was just a lot of differences between you, you're just very different people, but you have the 6 of Wands right next to it. So the 6 of Wands is saying, yes, you had a lot of kind of issues against you, but it's nothing that you can't work against. The 6 of Wands is victory. Getting past any obstacles that have been blocking you as a couple. And it can be, you know, for those of you where your ex is an earth sign, but it does not have to be. This is part of your reading. For some of you, the 5 of Wands, not for everyone, this can also represent a rival. So some of you where you know, I feel like most of you already know if your ex has moved on. This Queen of Pentacles here can definitely be your rival, someone who maybe is trying to connect with your ex. But this is actually working in your favor. You have the 6 of Wands. So even if there is someone in the picture, it can still be a victory for you because, you know, that connection with your ex is still there with the Lovers being here. Okay, let me get a few more so we can get the rest of the messages. What other messages are there for Gemini about their ex? You've got the Ace of Wands, so this was also in the first spread. Ace of Cups. And 2 of Wands. So, I mean, I feel like this is just telling you that there is, I mean, a huge, huge chance here of being able to start over. It just really seems like there's been something really painful. This is just carried over from the first spread, something painful. You have a chance to really, like, wipe the slate clean here with the Ace of Wands. You can wipe the slate clean. That's the message I'm getting. You can rekindle this connection with your ex. I do feel like you need to really take your time. I keep saying that, and look, you have the 2 of Wands. This is a card of delays and waiting. So some of you may be kind of surprised that this person pops up all of a sudden. This could be an ex from years ago, and suddenly they want your forgiveness. The Temperance card, which is a repeat card. You just had this in the last spread. So there is a huge energy here of forgiveness. Again, there's, you know, perhaps you're kind of taken by surprise that this person wants to work things out. You're being told, like, don't push yourself. Like, if you need time to think, then take that time. Of course, some of you could have been waiting for a really long time to hear from this person. The 2 of Wands does represent delays and waiting. It could be that you've been waiting so long for this person. For those of you where you've been waiting, like, your time is here with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Okay, let me get a few cards from the confirmation deck, and let's see what comes up for you there. What other messages are there for the sign of Gemini about their ex for November? You've got the 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords, and 2 of Swords. Yeah, but there is just something like really, really strange here. Like the universe is telling you kind of be careful, Gemini. Like, be careful that you're not making the same mistakes over and over with this person. The 9 of Pentacles, I mean, this is telling you to look out for yourself. Look out for number 1, which is you. This is telling you that this is actually about making decisions, making a decision that you're going to feel good about at the end of the day. So if taking back your ex makes you feel like garbage, it makes you feel, it hurts your self-esteem, then don't do that. This is saying look out for yourself. You also have, I mean, you've got the 5 of Swords here, and I know you did have the 7 of Swords in the first spread. The 5 of Swords is a huge red flag of caution. There are literally alarms going off around this card. Be careful, be careful, be careful. The 5 of Swords is sometimes an empty victory. You get what you want, which in this case it would be your ex, and then you wonder, like, why did I ever try to get this person back? Why did I take them back? And some of you may be kind of facing that decision. I mean, you literally have that right here. A really tough and complicated decision. For some of you, this is just whether you're going to take them back or not. I feel like some of you, like, you don't trust your ex. You were hurt by them. I saw that in the first spread with the 10 of Swords. That was somewhere down here. You had the 10 of Swords and you had the Hangman. I feel like you really need to take your time, you know, kind of making a decision whether you're going to take this person back. You know, I see that here as well. You had, this was one of the cards from the first spread, the 7 of Pentacles. I see the sign of Gemini thinking about things very carefully, or this is advising you at least. Really take your time in making a decision, because for some of you, it could be that you could regret that decision. The 5 of Swords is an empty victory, but it's also a decision that you look back on and kind of have regrets. So just kind of looking over the spread, I mean, you definitely have a message here of new beginnings. So can you reconnect with your ex? Yes. Sorry, I picked up the wrong card here. It's the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So you have new beginnings. But there's also kind of waiting here with the 2 of Wands. And it can be that for some of you, you've been waiting for a long time to reconnect with this person. There is a shocker here, a Tower. There is a surprise. You know, perhaps someone is asking for forgiveness with Temperance, because there's still that connection here with the Lovers. There's still, you know, the love is still there, the connection is still there. Some of you could be surprised maybe as far as what ex is returning to you. It could be somebody else. It may not be your most recent ex. It could be someone else. Either way, I mean, I feel like the sign of Gemini is kind of fed up here with maybe how someone acted. It's not, this reading is not telling you not to take your ex back. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like you really need to think about things very carefully here. And the 7 of Pentacles from the first spread. Think about things very carefully. You've got, I feel like you have a really tough decision to make here with the 2 of Swords. Like, are you going to allow this person back in? Is that the best choice for you? Think about things very carefully, because you don't want to do this. You don't want to make a decision that you're going to regret. Okay, Gemini, this has been your love reading for November 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.